Welcome back to The Rock, the Western Cape, of course, results. Centre here in Century City. Fadiel Adams is the leader of the National Coloured Congress. You've actually been here since this morning. Why so early?
Because we don't stop working. I don't know what the other politicians do.
Okay, that's such a political statement. Some of the first words out of his mouth, making a political pitch, I guess, for the next election, which will be in 2029. I've noticed inside as well, I've seen a lot of blues around the DA desk. People are heads down, looking at the numbers, looking to see if they can determine a trend, or an outcome. Are you there as well?
I'd never be around their table, but they've got a reason to be concerned. They're bleeding votes. They're bleeding votes and we're picking them up, and it's a good space to be in.
Is that what the numbers are telling you? Because the numbers certainly suggest something different to them. In my conversation with them, they are upbeat about an overall majority.
They'll also tell you that they are transparent and honest, and we know they're lying about that as well. If you look at the board, you can see that we're slowly starting to get there, and our strongholds must still come in. So we're very confident. We're very happy with what's transpired so far, to be honest.
Okay, so you've kind of evolved from the movement, the Gatvol movement. Maybe just remind us what that movement sought to represent.
That movement sought to show people how frustrated coloured people were in the Western Province, and in the Cape Metro in particular. That movement sought fairness, and it just sought a voice for our people, and we guess we found it.
And that movement took to the streets and burnt tires, and that movement went to the polls and now found a presence in a couple of municipalities, I may add. And that was the first time venturing into politics you found that kind of presence. Why would people be resonating with the message? It's a message purely for coloured people, I would assume.
First of all, we never burnt a single tire. Let's just start there. But the message resonates because our struggle is their struggle. I'm just your average coloured guy, and when I tell you what I'm experiencing, that's what 80% of the Cape Flats is experiencing, and people gravitate towards it because it's the truth. Forget the spin, forget the lies that the DA tells you. What I tell you is what's happening in our areas. I say it because it's my lived reality. Jordan Lewis says it because he reads about it. That's the difference.
It's also no difference to maybe the experience of other working class, poor white people would want to take to the streets. Poor black people, poor people want a piece of the pie and piece of the action. Why would you argue that coloured people are special?
Poor white people, I don't know that many of them. Poor black people have every reason to take the streets. But poor coloured people are the only people in this country who are being discriminated upon using legislation. That's the difference right there.
Okay, now that I'm not aware of. According to my constitution, I'm not discriminated against. What do you read between the lines that I don't?
This constitution isn't worth the paper that is written on. We are all guaranteed to be equal. And then the Human Rights Commission releases the report that says since the advent of BEE and affirmative action, coloured people have gotten 40% poorer. Legislatively, they are gunning us.
Do you want more tenders?
I don't want a single tender. I want fairness. If I wanted tenders, I'd have shaken hands with someone long ago and be off with it. We've refused to cave in. We've refused coalition. We refuse to be co-opted. We refuse to be Zionist funded. We're still here.
What do you mean we want fairness? We want to succeed on that tender on the basis of our skills, expertise, and submission.
That's 100% what we're saying.
And it applies to everybody then?
Every single person. We can't live in a country where I fail because of my skin color, my culture, or my accent. That's not fair. That's what's happening to our people.
Okay. Voting fodder, you say so-called coloured people have been used as in the past?
100%. Coloured people have voted to keep the ANC out because of the swart gevaar tactic. But there's been nothing in it for them. The Democratic Alliance has done nothing but entrench apartheid privilege for a few, using coloured votes to do it. We're here to buck that trend.
Does the Democratic Alliance keep you out of sleep because you've mentioned them more often than the Cape Coloured Congress or the National Coloured Congress?
The Democratic Alliance is an evil.
It does keep you out of sleep then. That answers the question. I think the bigger question is the numbers are up. The PA has made a really big opening kind of presence, bigger than yours. How do you feel about that?
With 100 million rand to spend, we shouldn't even be in the conversation. We had 14,000 rand to spend. From what I understand, the statement released by the Patriotic Alliance, they had like 100 million rand to spend. They've released a big opening statement, but our strongholds must still come in. Theirs have come in, and we're not in competition with them at all. We don't see it that way. But let us wait until the end, when all the votes are in. Let us wait for Mitchell's Plain and Lavendale and Parkwood and Valhalla Park to come in, and then we'll have this conversation.
Is there a message, or the message from the PA, is it fundamentally different to the message from the National Coloured Congress?
In the words of Gayton McKenzie, we are not a coloured party. In the words of Fadiel Adams, we are a proudly coloured party.
Okay, got it. That's loud and understood. Now let's talk about your aspirations here. Numbers are on the board. Are you going to be the Honourable Fadiel Adams in the provincial register? Are you going to be an MPL?
The party seeks to deploy me to the national parliament. I don't know about honourable, but if that is where my organisation seeks to deploy me, that is where I go.
So you'll go to national parliament, and what would you feel your mandate is in national parliament so that we can hold you accountable? And that's what we need to do through the cycle of elections, more accountability for politicians.
It's the same mandate I had yesterday, as to fight for the coloured people like no one before me.
Okay, so you're going to be loud about the situation of coloureds in South Africa in the National Assembly. Talk to us about your aspirations for the provincial legislature. How many seats are you expecting to get in the provincial legislature?
Look, I'll give it to you like this. At our first attempt, if we win a single seat with the 14,000 rand we had, that will be considered a miracle. If we do a second one, it will be considered a bigger miracle. If we do a third one, I'd like to know what the political parties with millions are doing, considering that many of them are not getting in at all.
So are you expecting a miracle?
Yes, we are, sir. A series of miracles.
A series of miracles in the provincial legislature, national legislature?
We hope to get two.
Okay, so we're going to be watching that with interest. Fadiel Adams, thank you for chatting with us. It's appreciated.